Hi, this is Dr. Les. Welcome to another episode of I Bought a Farm. Now what? It's August the 12th today, and I'm out here to check on the heifers that were in the pastures that were a little bit short. We made a couple of adjustments to these heifers as far as their management protocol. And the main thing is I put a high-fat, high-protein tub in this paddock to help extend the grass until the farmer is able to get back and we can put some more fence up and open up another pasture. But for right now, we needed to leave them here, so we put a water tank in this paddock, and then we put a protein tub. So we're going to look at the heifers real quick. Going to show you the protein and energy tub, and really I wanted it just to stretch this grass a little bit. And then look at the heifers real quick, and then we'll go over to the other farm. Okay, so this is the grass that we're dealing with in this paddock. Okay, it's spotty in some places, like right here. We got a good, 10 inches, 8 to 10 inches, and some reasonably thick grass. Okay, and then other spots down all along that fence, all up along the south side there, you're only looking about 4 inches. Okay, so when I calculated the amount of grazable forage we had in here, if we didn't get something to stretch this a little bit, we were going to run short before the landowner got back and we could create a new pen for these heifers. So what I did was I had him go and purchase a fat and protein tub from Woodford Feed here in Versailles. They sell the Purina high fat, high protein tubs, which we have here. You can see that they've only, it's been out here a couple of days, and they've eaten on it a little bit. And I'll be interested to see how far we're able to stretch this grass, and if we're able to get some of the hair off of these animals. Okay. Heifers are around the water tank. We put a new water tank in up here that they dump water in every day. You can see the heifers have a little bit of hair on them. All right. G124 and G111 both have at least 3/4 of their winter coat on. A couple of the other heifers are pretty well slicked off, and so my goal is to see if that high fat will help these other heifers shed the rest of their hair. And since we're giving it to this group and not to the other group, should be a nice little control for us. Heifers are still in great shape, doing really well. I'm very pleased with them. Fly situation is still pretty good. 3 or 4 on their faces. Not too much ear flipping, not too much tail flipping. I'm going to have to probably get some fly spray on these gals probably by the beginning of next week, but otherwise we're in pretty good shape. Looks like all the heifers are down near the road, so there's going to be a lot of road noise. Still looking pretty good. Starting to shed a little bit more in this group. Flies still not a major issue, so going to continue to delay spraying until they get a little bit tougher. Heifers just enjoying the shade, hanging out, ruminating. All of them right down here by the road, making it easy on me to take video. Really trying to pay attention to eyes today. All right, G130 had about 8 or 10 face flies, but I don't really see much tearing. G119, who walked by me just a second ago, had 8 or 10 face flies, but she was starting to tear up a little bit in her right eye. That tearing is one of the indications of the initial stages of pink eye, and so that's why I want to look at every one of them's eyes every time I come out here. That's why I always talk about it every time I come out here, because if we catch pink eye quick, it can be a pretty minor problem. But if we let it go, then the heifer's eyes can get pretty bad pretty fast. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Just in general, heifers looking pretty good. I think they've lost a little bit of weight here in this last stretch of kind of hot summer. They're still getting 3 pounds of supplement a day. I don't see any eye issues. The first place that I will normally look is the Baldy heifer G101. She's pink skinned, which means there's pink around the skin of her eye. And research has shown that pink skinned animals have the tendency to have more issues with pink eye than dark skinned animals. So if the pigment around the heifer's eyes, if the skin pigment is darker, they have less trouble historically. Heifers look pretty good. Still, some of them with about 3/4 of the winter hair. But like G101, she shed since the last time I was out here. The heifer laying down, she's still got G115, she's still got all her hair coat. G130 still has all of her hair coat. 353 has her hair coat. G119 back there still has her winter hair coat. 1640 is about 3/4. Okay, and so I put that protein and energy tub over with the heifers at the in the 7 acres, and 3 of those 5 had 3/4 hair coats or greater, and so we'll see if that makes those heifers shed quickly. If we can get the hair off in the next week, then I'll put a protein energy tub over here too, and see if we can help these heifers out a little bit. If you look at watch G150 there, look at her respiration rate. I don't know if you can see, she's got about half of her hair coat, and her respiration rate's pretty high. G130, same thing. Look at her shallow, quick breaths, okay? That's an indication of heat stress. All right, we look right here at the heifer in front of us, slower, deeper breaths. Same thing with Big Red over there. So those heifers aren't nearly as stressed. Well, that's about it for today. I drove up to the east side of the paddock 1 to check the grass, and we still got plenty of grass all along that east side. So we'll probably let them run here till Friday, maybe Monday, when the landowner gets back. And then I'll move them over to paddock 4, let them graze on there for 7 to 10 days. We'll go ahead and put nitrogen down on paddock 1. As soon as we get the heifers off of paddock 4, I'll put nitrogen down there too, and those 2 will be set for stockpiled fescue for this fall. Then the heifers will be rotated between paddock 2 and paddock 3 for the rest of the feeding period, or until November 1st, when we can turn back out here, and we'll rotate between paddock 4 and paddock 1 during the breeding season. We'll have Kenny Burdine on here in about a month. We'll talk about markets. If the markets are looking pretty favorable, and we can get these heifers sold for an acceptable profit, we'll go ahead and get those heifers. Go ahead and look at moving these heifers. If it looks like we're going to be able to maximize our profitability by putting a little bit more weight on them and getting them bred and pushing them through, then we'll do that. But that'll be about a month. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining on another episode of I Bought a Farm. Now what?